Good morning, passport holders. Today, February 1st, 2017, day 824 of the vlogs. And yeah, after you guys saw me at around 2 a.m. last night, 2:30, something like that, when I woke back up and decided to go to bed, struggled to fall back asleep. And after laying in bed for about an hour, decided that it was just time for me to just do something with the brain power that I had. So I ended up working for about 75 minutes and then ultimately going to sleep shortly after 4 o'clock. Woke up at 8:30 and kind of putzed around, didn't race into the day, and then ended up getting an email back from Andy about our phone call that was scheduled last Thursday, asking, well, I gave him my availability yesterday and said, hey, let's get this done. And so it sounds like we're going to be doing that phone call at 1:30 my time, 3:30 his, in order to have that out. Additionally, today I've got a couple other things going on. So I had Clintus on in the background while I was getting ready and handling some other stuff. So I've got to hustle because I've got a meeting up in North Scottsdale that I got to make with a buddy. And so I've got to be up there at 6:45, which means that the vlog also has to be edited before I leave for that, which will probably be in the 5 o'clock hour, in order just to make sure that I will get up there in time. Even though I'm going the opposite way of traffic, I will definitely hit traffic. And so I'm kind of figuring out if I just go up there like 4 o'clock and work from the Apple store, or what I'm gonna do. But that is its own separate thing. And so in the meantime, basically what I'm doing is I'm just racing through the remaining pieces of content. So I have 3 pieces of content that are non-keynotes in Gary's VQ that I would like to get done before this phone call at 1:30. That's the target. If I can hit that and then, see how this call goes, that defines a lot of things for me in the immediate future. Obviously, I still have to send my invoices for the month of January for the 2 channels that were daily that normally are weekly, and so I'll send those invoices, get those out hopefully at some point this afternoon, and then obviously I've got my rent check situation, rent money order situation that I need to go and handle. So that is the day. That is what's going to go on, and before I know it, it's going to be 11 o'clock. Hope you guys are having a great start to your Wednesday. Pretty sure it's Wednesday. Yeah, it's Wednesday already. Week's flying by. Let's get this one started. So update, since it is approaching 5 p.m. now, and I finally need a small little break, and the computer's working for me. So what's happened? Well, obviously I had my call with Andy a little bit later than expected. Discussed about kind of all the variables in play and kind of where things are at. And one of the things that came up was potentially pushing back some of the work onto the video editors themselves in order to lighten the load for me. And when he brought that up, I was like, that I built a tool specifically for this that will help you guys if we decide to go this route. And he's like, what? Apparently he didn't read the email or whatever. Something got a little funky in there. And so I was able to sit there and, make that happen, which is interesting. So I'll resend him all the information regarding that. But the other big thing that I did this afternoon was I uploaded all of the Daily V content into the one was that said search engine. So that has fallen woefully behind with everybody. So the Daily V content was most of what had been transmitted over as shorties, of which I received another 15 today from Justin. I believe it was 15, 16, something like that. And so far I've kicked 15 total, including a couple to Elliot, out. And so I've got 10 left in there right now, a Daily V and a Clintus episode, and that's all the work that I will have today. So the Daily V today is 16 and a half minutes, so probably about 2.5 hours worth of work. So my hope is that I can get at least a first pass done in addition to a quick little recording so that Andy can see the tool itself, get the information for his login credentials again, and kick that over so that he can sit there and see what I've got cooking, so that we can show him really quickly kind of what is there and what isn't.
I don't think you guys are going to be able to see the sunset that's happening over there, but it's super pretty with some very high scattered clouds throwing back some golds and other colors. A bunch of police are flying by. I'm assuming there's something that they're racing towards, but what has happened this afternoon since I last checked in with you guys? Well, the answer is I handled 2 more shorties, and I got Clintus's captions back. They're all formatted, and I got about halfway through the final review before I had to leave. So I will finish that up when I get home, and then handle daily V. Once that's done, I'll begin to pile through the remaining 8 shorties that I have, try and get all that finished up, get all of Ask Gary V added into the when was that said search engine, get that all taken care of, and then I'll probably try and crack down on at least one of the keynotes. I think I have an 11-minute shorty in there as well, so that really is kind of like a half caption kind of, or half keynote kind of thing. So if I can finish out everything that isn't a keynote today, I would be pretty happy with that. I have plans to hang out with Kelly tomorrow. So it's like a meeting today, Kelly tomorrow. This week is going to very quickly close out. So I'm going to try and finish up as much as possibly can, but at the same time, not try and overstress myself.
All right, guys, so I am back here at the house, or the apartment, and really good meeting. Very fun to hang out with Ted. Not a ton that's super actionable right now with kind of how things are set up. So who knows, maybe things fall into place over the course of the next 90 days where I can begin to really take an active part in kind of what this group was all about. And so I'm interested. Like, I definitely am interested as a result of that. I definitely appreciated some of the stuff that was going on in this meeting, and quite frankly, I was pretty impressed with a bunch of folks that I was speaking with. So that was cool. At this point, though, dinner has just been finished up. It's 11:20, and I've got at least 2 videos that I need to absolutely must do, which is Clintus's video from today and Daily V 146, and then I've got, what is that, 10? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, we'll call it 10. 10 shorty videos under 5 minutes that I would like to get done as well. So if I can finish all that and then literally just start tomorrow with nothing but keynotes, I'd be a very happy camper. So yeah, positive. Not the way that I expected today to really go, but at the end of the day, I am super excited with kind of where things are at. We'll see how things go forward for the rest of the week, but regardless of how they go, I'm going to choose to make the absolute best of the situation, and the first way I can do that is just by getting the work done. Well, I'm completely to blame on this one. Just am. So I ended up captioning until about 3:40 this morning, and then I looked at something that had happened like a bunch. Because we have a number of people working simultaneously on a single Google spreadsheet in order to kind of create what we're calling the caption queue, the private caption queue for Gary's channel. A bunch of people recently have resubmitted work that's already been done, and I was not exactly okay with that. And so I decided to take it upon myself to begin to code a solution to let people know, not instantly because I can't, it's kind of this weird situation, or at least I don't know a better way to do it using Google Sheets formulas. So I ended up using AppleScript and JavaScript. So like when the webhooks, the scriptlet that I've written goes and checks the sheet for new entries, if there's a new entry, it will now parse out one of 2 ways: the universal identifier for the YouTube video itself, and it will update the sheet in order to include that, and then through some formulaic stuff that I was able to figure out, or recall, or figure out, whatever we want to call it tonight, if that ID is identical to another ID inside of the entire Google Sheet, it throws a flag. It turns bright red and says true, meaning that it is a duplicate ID, meaning we've already done the work. So I ended up coding 2 pieces. So first and foremost was that JavaScript additional, so that it goes back and in the process of all the stuff that it's doing, which is checking to make sure that the URL is available to us, checking to see who requested, the title of the video, all that stuff. On the back end, we're sanitizing that so that it matches exactly from what we get from our tools when we're done with all of the work, because it strips out all of the extraneous characters. So anything that isn't an alphanumeric immediately gets stripped. And so we have to create a clean title for the video that, no apostrophes, commas, periods, dashes, open parens, all that stuff gets stripped out. through regular expression. And then, yeah. So, basically, yeah, it's like this nice little way so that within 5 minutes of somebody submitting something to the queue, they're going to know whether or not it's previously been there. And then the kicker, and this is what I love about the way that this is set up, is because I have the universal ID, it shows up inside of the URL. So if you have one that goes red, all you do is you click the universal ID field, hit copy, Command C, Control C, depending upon which system you're on, hit Control F, Command F, Command V, find it, and you'll find the original title and the date that it was submitted. And as a result, since most of my stuff gets done within 24 hours, you now have an idea where to look for it inside of the Dropbox folders. Super cool, super efficient, and it should help as they spin up more and more of these video editors. I'm super pumped about this. Like, it stands a real good shot of being incredibly useful for me to like instantly know whether or not work's already been completed. And so if it is, then I can just sit there and be like, yo, like leave a little note in the sheet like I have, which is like, yo, this was originally requested on the 17th of January and is currently named as blah blah blah, and it was returned on the 18th of January, kind of thing. And like, there's a lot of data, there's a lot of videos flying around, but to sit here and have this be like an not instantaneous, within 10 minutes of you pushing something into that queue to know whether or not it's already been completed, that's super cool. That stated, it is 5:20 a.m. and I'm not too happy about that. But you know what? It is what it is. I got to a good coding problem. I liked it. I challenged myself with it, and I created a bunch of solutions. Still have to debug the final piece of the JavaScript version, but I'm excited about that. And so, yeah, it's been a good day. Really good day. Like, shockingly good day. I'm going to feel it tomorrow, but you know what? I'm going to work on 4 hours sleep again and make it work, because I have to. I have to clear at least pretty much. I've got like 3 short videos to go, 3 like less than 5-minute videos to go, 1 11-minute video, and then I've got all these keynotes in addition to whatever the heck comes in tomorrow or today. So it is what it is. But thank you guys so much for your time and your attention. As always, I appreciate them both. And remember, you never stumble upon opportunity by standing still, so go do cool stuff. Bye for now.